officially kicking it off. So we have Adam here, who is the new CEO over there at Hodl Tokens. So again, for those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with the project or what Hodl is, at its core, they're building up a passive income ecosystem. So, there's a number of different ways where people can get involved in the HODL ecosystem to earn passive income, whether it's through purchasing their tokens, staking. They have a beautiful NFT marketplace that's ongoing. They actually have a sister token as well that is launched into the project, which is HODLX. So there's a lot of different kind of components here within the overall ecosystem that I really think you guys will love to learn about in terms of the overall utility. Like they're building up. At one point, I believe your all-time high back last year was around 220 million, if I'm not mistaken, just from conversations I had a long time ago with some OGs on the team. And it's really cool that you guys are focused on, not giving up. I mean, for anybody who has a background story with the project previously, you guys hit some pretty crazy numbers. The dev at the time had kind of not been as responsive. So you guys are spending a crazy amount of money on marketing with the project. And, as anything happens, marketing money can only go so far, but you guys did still, even when you walked back, sat around somewhere between, 10 to 20 million, 8 to 20 million for quite some time. So it's really cool to see that strength of community. I mean, those investors, those OGs, those holders that understand the passive income side of the project are still really active in supporting you guys. So again, it's just really cool to see the transition from the project from its initial inception, some crazy all-time highs, some crazy success. You guys were one of the most recognizable tokens, I believe, in the space for quite some time. So it's got a great brand name. I mean, you have a beautiful site with just more utility offered than most projects can kind of think to dream of over their life cycle. So again, there's a lot of things you've done really well. There's a lot of people who really understand HODL and what you guys are building up as an ecosystem and are still supporting you from those early days. But as I mentioned, it's about kind of what your future vision is still for the project. Obviously getting new eyes in here, growing the community further, expanding between your different socials and just, pushing HODL up to kind of the objective and the goal that you guys had when as a team, you launched this back over a year ago. So Adam, really humbled to have you on here and update everybody about what you guys have been doing. And floor is yours. So thank you very much.
Very much.
Start with maybe your background.
Yeah, appreciate that. I think listening to you there, I think you're spot on. But what's kind of underpins all of this, which I'm sure we can all appreciate, is that it is an amazing brand. It's 4 letters that have so much meaning. And I'm kind of shocked that nobody's capitalized on this previously or successfully, because the word HODL has so much meaning in crypto. Every project uses it, even just statistically, it gets something like 700 tweets or hashtags an hour. So I think first and foremost, everybody involved, whether that's in the team or the community, we're all very attuned to the fact that we have a really strong brand that we ultimately want to create as a household name. So that kind of underpinning, the word, what it means, what it symbolizes, and the power of it and the potential of it is really what's driven us to build this ecosystem, to never stop, to keep building, and to not just take the easy route, which a lot of projects do, or a lot of developers do, where you start a project, it pumps, it dumps, and then you go on to the next one. I kind of get fed up with people saying how crypto is the future and how we've got to build these amazing projects, but then these projects just die so quickly. People aren't seeing these things through. What we're trying to do with HODL is actually create this ecosystem of products, of brand, of message, of marketing, of passive income that's sustainable, and ultimately becomes the Nike or the Apple or the Microsoft, however you want to phrase it, of crypto, because we're all on the same page about the sort of scale of the opportunity with this brand. And so nobody in the team is going to quit until we take it to its furthest limits, because there's nowhere, in our opinion, there's nowhere to go after this. We've got the best brand and we've already built a big ecosystem, so we just got to push. Like you mentioned, we had that crazy high, 120 million. it's quite amazing with this project because when it pumps, it just drags people in like a vortex. You know, the B&B pool, which is the sort of at the heart of the project, you get access to a B&B reward pool. That pumped to about 10,000 B&B around this time last year. And it just, as you can imagine, just pull people in. You know, we were number one on CoinMarketCap. And again, you can imagine people seeing our brand on CoinMarketCap. It was just crazy. So I think we feel that there's a special opportunity here to actually take this brand, take this concept, because actually our product is this word. You know, you hold our token and you get rewarded. So the kind of commitment's absolute, and we're just going to keep building until we become a household name, quite frankly.
I think one of the first projects I ever heard of when I started last November was, HODL. So I personally kind of attest to that. I came in, everybody was saying like, oh yeah, buy this and HODL, buy this and HODL. And one day I came across a project and I was like, what's this? And then I asked a buddy of mine who ended up, I guess, working as like a mod or community manager on the project a while ago. And he was like, yeah, dude, that's a token. It's also a token. That's kind of like why that mentality. And, they played off that kind of mantra. And then he told me a bit about the background and I was like, holy crap, 220 million. I was like, that's pretty insane. And this was when I was still super new, right? So like it was my, when I first started in November, we were doing a lot of lower cap plays and getting the introduction to that. That's what kind of even personally for me started to spur my interest in trying to go after and hunt down some of these bigger cap projects and, start to align ourselves a little bit more with teams who come from a bit more of that corporate or professional background. And, we've had the chance to host some multi-billion-dollar projects on here since. It's been really cool just to see the growth and the opportunity that we've seen on the channel. And I think what you said is just really just branding is so invaluable. Like I'm from marketing and, you could literally spend sometimes projects or companies spend in real world, hundreds of millions of dollars over their life cycle on branding, outbound marketing, TV ads and stuff like that. And they're trying to compete for such a small percentage of growth based on their competitors and their overall market reach. Right. So I think what Adam brought up there is really important because HODL as a brand just kind of expands beyond a project in crypto, and being able to be so closely linked with that mantra, I think is just something that newer people who come in, and I guess this is really why, yes, crypto right now is really saturated. I mean, the market conditions aren't great. So some of the bigger investors just taking some time off, but I think it's an opportunity for people who didn't want to invest before because one B&B used to cost $600 or $500. Now one B&B costs, $250 American. So maybe if your opportunity cost to invest now, you get two B&B for the price of one previously. So as a investor, I think personally in a down market, it's not a bad time to enter because you're getting more bang for your buck and you're obviously going to be able to capitalize on that run that happens afterwards. So I 100% agree with you. And I think you guys will be able to capture more of that new audience because of the fact that your brand is synonymous with, a kind of a mantra in crypto. I think you're a little muted on my end, Adam.
Is that better?
Gotcha.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was just saying, we are serious as well about living up to this brand. We can't call ourselves HODL and not continue in the bear markets. A big part of our project has to be a place where people can invest and make good money during the bear markets. So people are making great money with us right now. And that will always be the case. When we're in a bull market, people will be making crazy money. That's the thing. That's the reality. So if, for example, I load up our DEX, we've got all these pools running. So you could be earning 41% by staking your HODL and earning our reward token, which is HODLX. Or you could be, you can earn NFTs. This is quite novel. So you can actually stake your the reward token that you earn with HODL and earn NFTs, or you could stake the reward token and earn HODL. You've also got the ability to stake your NFTs and earn the tokens. So currently there's 15 different options, and we're actually going to be releasing 2 more options this week. We're working on a couple of things I was testing today, so we're going to hit 17 different options for making money, and we're going to keep building it because at the end of the day, as I say, going back to the point I made earlier on, we do believe we've got the best brand, and that has attracted a lot of incredible people. The core team, the guys that basically run this project, we've invested over $1 million of our own money into acquiring the tokens that we hold. So it's a very serious bunch that are just very passionate about the project and really believe in the brand and what it means and what it's capable of. So we've got a long-term view on that, and that kind of really reflects well in what we've built, which is kind of undeniable. We've got so much going on now, and what we're going to go on to build, which is going to be incredible. And I'm certain, and this isn't an egotistical thing. I'm just utterly certain that with this brand, with our team, with what we've already done, and where we're at, we will get there. So, but we are working hard during this bear market. We're trending all over social. Like, we're winning. If anyone follows me on Twitter, because I've just created an account to give updates, we're actually constantly trending. You can see like we're back at the levels we were when we did our last pump. We're at front of Floki for social engagement. Like, it's all coming together, and there's no coincidence or no that is ultimately why I wanted to come and speak to you guys, is because we've got the brand, we've got the ecosystem, we've got the earning options, and the marketing's really kicking in. So there's a real kind of bullish feeling within our camp that we're going to go back on the journey that we went on this time last year. However, this time we're going to be infinitely more prepared because of how our contracts evolved and developed. So when we do pump, unlike last time where we were distributing all of the rewards that we were accumulating every 24 hours, this time we've got various controls in place where some of those funds will be basically stored. So there's going to be a more even distribution. Whereas last time, there were individuals last summer that were earning up to 230 BNB a day when we pumped. So, which is great. But like I say, ultimately what I'm here to do is I want to see HODL become like an Apple or an Amazon of DeFi, of crypto. So we've got to treat it as such, which is why I'm doxed, KYC'd. We're going to register a company, and we've built, this serious infrastructure, which, as you mentioned, kind of isn't often the case. People come and go, but we're just continually pushing, and we will until we get to where we believe we can go with this project.
I guess for you guys, what's going to be the biggest thing to drop within the next month or two within your ecosystem, or kind of what's your big push right now?
Yes, so some of the stuff that's coming up. So if I just load up our roadmap, one of the things that we're going to do is actually build some arbitrage bots. So I don't know if you guys know, but basically, if you look at platforms like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, wallets take the price from those platforms, and that's what they display to people that hold the tokens. And that's great, but the issue is those prices are based on your price on various exchanges. So CoinMarketCap will list out all your exchanges. And when you have all these different exchanges operating, there can be quite a bit of variation on price on these different exchanges. And people are able to take advantage of that, which, good luck to them. But we want to build our own arbitrage bots to both stabilize the price, so there's more stability across the different exchanges and how that feeds out into people's wallets, and then to take some of those profits and put it into our central reward pool. So that's what we mean by the market maker bots and the arbitrage bots. That's coming up. We're building a poker game, Texas Hold'em, which is something that people have kind of called for since the very start of the project. To have our own poker game, it'd be great for the community, but also there's a huge opportunity to generate revenue, and that's going to be a huge build. Building
live. I'd love to be a part of that. That's the only gambling that I'm always down for is poker.
Oh, it's amazing, and we've got an amazing dev, and he absolutely loves poker. But to be able to do a Texas Hold'em is pretty cool, and but we're gonna make it so you can onboard with basically all the major stable coins, and really try and own poker in crypto. So that's coming up. We've done a lot recently. We've got a couple of things that we're going to launch hopefully this week, which are new. We're actually working on a couple of betting games, which is I'm telling you guys now on this AMA, that's something that the community will discover if they're tuned in. But yeah, we're creating a couple of betting games at the moment, which will also generate revenue and be real fun. We've got an amazing app on the horizon, so I could preview potentially some of that. But basically, you'll be able to see your passive income generation. But the primary objective there is to transcend being limited to just that fraction of people that are in DeFi, and have it so that you can download the app from our website and purchase HODL with your card or Apple Pay or whatever, and you're up and running, it'll create a wallet for you, it'll hold your tokens, and it'll give you the passive income. You'll be able to harvest that passive income. And then the stage 2 of that is the HODL pay. So you'll be able to send that passive income to a card that you can spend, just go down the shops and buy a pint of milk. Well, that's what you call over here anyway, or a can of Coke or whatever, just like if it was a debit card. So that'll be the next stage, is that you'll have an app to harvest your passive income and see what you're earning by week, by month, by year, transact in fiat, draw down your rewards and convert them into fiat, reinvest, access the website, look at a calculator if you want to increase your passive income, and ultimately feed that passive income onto a card that you can use in the real world. So we've got big plans. We're serious. Like, this is we're building this like a company, but we ultimately want HODL to become. We're having a shot at everyone talks about crypto being adopted, but we're really truly having a shot at making this become one of the biggest brands in crypto, and that's why we're building every day. Some amazing stuff, and hopefully that comes across with how our website looks and the branding and the messaging and the content, because that's what's going to sort of be rolled out across the board until we're established as a major project in DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, I come from that. I just can't wait. I know I've always been a fan of the project and the way that you guys kind of position yourself, very corporate, very professional as a team, just in terms of your positioning, the website design, and everything that I've seen kind of put out. So for me, it's just kind of, obviously you have to employ that wait and see approach just to really see kind of how it grows. And there is a certain level of belief that has to be there from, I think, an investor and then somebody looking to jump in to support it, because some of those objectives and goals you have, I think the way that you're planning to roll them out are very smart, definitely, would work. But there still is going to be that level of, it doesn't all just happen overnight. So people who come in are going to have to be patient. People who come in are going to have to support you guys through maybe some of those quieter times where it is more heavy on the development and less on, like, the hype and the activity. So yeah, I just really think, again, like, I'm excited for what the future holds. I think you guys have one of the most robust ecosystems we've ever had the chance of highlighting that's actually functional. It's not just we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. You can interact with your different utilities through the site. They're functional. You can use the DEX, you can use the marketplace, so again, for me, that's something people can't replicate. And you said it yourself, barriers to entry or something that do come into play with a project like that.
Yeah, 100%. It's I see us more of a tech play, a tech company than a certainly a smart contract or just a crypto. We're building a brand, and it's a tech play, and obviously we're utilizing cryptocurrency, but that's only part of that kind of overall ecosystem. So and that's really my background, is in building brands, and I've built a marketing company and a few tech platforms. I built up a business that was like a software company, and we sold that to Michelin, the tire company, and TripAdvisor. So I got involved in this project, and just instantly I was like, right, this could be, because of the brand and the concept, and because of how important passive income is to people of all shapes and sizes, whether that's somebody who lives in Venezuela where there's like hyperinflation, whether that's like a rich guy who lives in a penthouse in New York. We all want passive income. So the fact that this project's geared around that, and then has the best brand in crypto, and crypto still at its infancy with unlimited scope to grow, and you can build all this technology around it. For me, it just felt like the opportunity of a lifetime. If it was any other project, any other brand, I wouldn't feel the same. So we're just building and building and building and building until we create those revenue lines, till we grow our base, and it truly becomes a self-sustaining financial ecosystem that's got strong products and utility. And I'd say we're getting there, but it's still incredibly early days. The pace we're moving at over these last couple of months is phenomenal. We've delivered so many brilliant things and so much innovation, but we'll just keep piling that work in because of how special this brand is and the potential.
So I guess playing off of that, it's you brought up a very important point, and it's something that I always touch on is, obviously crypto super saturated. Do you guys have any plans to go out to maybe conferences, different blockchain events and stuff, and really start to push more of the real world kind of corporate side of what the project, in your opinion, and kind of my opinion too, kind of alludes, and really kind of that's like the brand, the genre that you guys kind of over there is just that very corporate professional. Like I said, the website is just top notch. So I think people, bigger investors, non-crypto users will see that website, see the UI and the functionality of it and be like, huh, maybe this is worth a look because it's very professionally done and there is just a ton of information available to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things there. I think one of the things that will add a huge amount of value to what we're doing here is actually providing a service to companies. So I've been looking at things like whether we go down the route of HODL can be a good outlet for companies who want to offer staff incentives. So where you have companies who want to squirrel some money for their teams or rewards, whether there's an opportunity there, because I think as soon as you can start to add value to the corporate world, your valuation, your ability to generate revenue and traction massively escalates. So aligning to the corporate world is something that I believe is definitely a part of our future. But to be honest with you, because we have this brand that just pulls people in and converts people, and people think, wow, if a project's called that, that's pretty cool. It's a word we all know, a word that has a lot of meaning. I think doing both, getting out there and making it easier for people to buy and trying to remove those barriers, where you have to know how to use PancakeSwap, you have to understand slippage, because we have a 10% tax on buy, sells and transfers, you've got to apply a 12% slippage. A lot of people just don't get that stuff. One of my big objectives that I've brought to this, as I stepped into the role of CEO, is I want my mum to be able to generate passive income from HODL. I want it to be a case of, without me instructing or explaining what BNB is, what Binance is, because that's where she's got to get a BNB, or what PancakeSwap is and that kind of thing, that she can just visit the website, download the app at a click of a button, explains it very simply, put your card details in, purchase the token, and then extract her passive income back onto a debit card. That's where we've got to get to, because that's 99.7% of the market. Whereas if we just go for people in DeFi, that's 0.3% that know all that stuff. So I think when people talk about, the adoption of cryptocurrency, it sounds great, but we're actually trying to build technology that will allow us to work with those people, and then we'll be marketing that. And that'll be both directly to the consumer, but yes, I do think we've got to be working with companies. And I think one of our key objectives there is the staff reward side of things. And employee, there's a lot of platforms, and I've used a few when I've built businesses in the past, that you can register to, and they'll give you access to certain advantages and services as an employee. So it'd be great if we can start engaging those and doing some partnerships there. That's
a really important thing I wanted to ask, because the one piece that I noticed isn't really kind of highlighted in the roadmap, because I know personally, this tech and actual rollout of it isn't really for probably 2-3 years down the line. But, within the metaverse itself, I'm assuming, just based on the brand, you guys would look to probably go more of a partnership objective, and maybe just purchase land in a well-known one where the investors in there and that kind of demographic would suit what you guys are looking at, versus, throwing, anywhere from $20 to $50 million to try and build one yourself, which, I mean, in this market is just kind of insanity.
Yeah, so buy what, sorry?
Just looking to buy land. So just kind of pick, a metaverse where, the investors in there, or at least kind of some of the recognizable projects or people would align with what you look for in kind of an investor or a hodler of HODL. Right. So
yeah,
just trying to figure out if it's more of a partnership by purchase or a development of your own kind of approach to the metaverse, which I know is still about 2 years away from most experts' opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of how I see it. I think partnerships are key. There's a lot of brands, and the metaverse is a good example of this. There's a lot of new startups that are looking to establish themselves in that space, and we can actually partner with them. So I'm talking to one at the moment, for example, who about doing. You'll be able to go and scavenge hunt. Some HODL in a metaverse. So it'd be like one of those scavenge hunter kind of things. And what the beautiful thing, and this is kind of a bit of an approach of ours to marketing in general, there's a lot of good people out there, smaller companies that are looking to disrupt the market, whether that's contract security, the metaverse, payment systems, you name it. Now, if you know what you're looking for and you can pick the right ones, there's great opportunities to collaborate, because often these guys are investing heavily into marketing, trying to build up their own brand, estate and audience. And actually, if you can align with the right ones, where there's a good cultural fit, they're looking to build, they're looking to develop, they're looking to innovate and get out there. There's good examples, and we've shown that recently, for example, with a company called Stay Seifu, who they're building some really good technology. They've got a really good platform and a really strong audience. And we worked with them. They did some great work with us around KYC and contract auditing and optimization. But they wanted to show us off as much as we wanted to show off the work that we did with them. So, they've been able to promote us and reach tens of thousands of people through their channel. And we saw that on the charts. We saw that with people coming into the community. So I think partnering is critical, and that's something you see more in the corporate world, that you partner with people that you work with to get your combined messages out there. And there's a lot of credibility to that. And you're kind of cross-pollinating, your customer bases. That's a big part of it. And I think that's hugely available in the metaverse as well. So partnerships and the marketing that comes out with that is really important, and see that as a big part of our future. And that's definitely something that we're going to be doing in the metaverse, partnering with up and coming providers in that space to shout about what we're both doing and innovate.
Working with a project that maybe I could introduce you to that has some pretty cool stuff going on. I'm just kind of working behind the scenes, an advisor for them, but they got sponsorships with like Red Bull, Coca-Cola, Samsung and stuff. Really cool project. Maybe there could be a fit, something like that down the line.
100%. That's exactly the kind of thing we're looking for, because what gets me out of bed in the morning is the creative side of this and what we're building. And that's what keeps me up until the early hours of the morning, working away, is that we're building some really great game-changing stuff. So if there's people out there that are building this stuff that want to partner, then there's an opportunity to really push the envelope, which is exciting and fun. But you can really get that can become incredibly effective marketing. You don't have to just throw money at marketing to make people aware that you exist and excite them. Sometimes it's about what you actually deliver, rather than it's just hype or it's just banners or it's just social media. Actually partnering and working together to come up with new things is often more effective. So both in a cultural sense, but then in terms of just being smart, those kind of strategic partnerships are a massive part of both our present and our future.
Amazing, man. Yeah, so we'll definitely chat offline then a little bit more in the future. And then I guess the last part I wanted to touch on is the community, because you guys have obviously built up one of these stronger communities. I know with a project like that being geared towards, passive income, it's not based on hype. So I would say, if you look at projects where the Telegram needs to be super heavy, super active all the time, or the project's going to just die and just fall off the face of the earth, I wouldn't classify HODL as one of those. There's going to be days where it's more active in the TG than others, depending on announcements and growth. But I think kind of that demographic, again, and I'll bring it back to, who you guys kind of cater to, is those passive income individuals who, in the real world, people who are often more catered in passive income investing are, individuals of more mid to high wealth. And I think in crypto, it's kind of that mentality. But I know personally, those individuals on the lower side, if you actually take the time to understand what passive income can do, if your weekly or monthly wage, for example, ends up equating to, $40 US, and you're able to earn, because everything is done in crypto based on a, for lack of a better term, everything's kind of related to a US value, the price of BNB, price of ETH, price of BTC. The first kind of valuation people do is in US and then translate it over. So if you're thinking like that, passive income really does actually have a bigger benefit to smaller investors, because it doesn't take as big of an investment to get in to earn that money back over time. And on top of that, your kind of your stress levels, your risk levels are much lower. So that smaller amount that you're going to be able to earn personally often goes a longer way. So, I mean, I love how you brought this up early, Adam, that, kind of catering to everybody, different levels of investors. But I also wanted to touch on it because I think passive income started being more towards high wealth and kind of transitioned to more kind of mid-tier, small-tier investing, have often the most to gain from passive income. So yeah.
Well, I mean, don't forget as well that the tax is 10%. So how it works is basically every time there's a transaction, 10% of that transaction gets stored and then redistributed to everybody it's holding. So you get the advantage of, you hold it, you basically get paid to hodl, which is pretty cool concept. And how that works is you simply visit the website, you connect your wallet, and you run your claim. And your claim is how much of the tokens effectively you own. So if you own 1% of all the tokens, then you'd be accessing 1% of the reward pool. Now that's an amazing concept, and it's very engaging, very exciting, very sticky, very fun, very gratifying, and it means that people are engaging your product because they're coming to collect it every sort of day or every 7 days, depending. We run it daily or weekly, depending on volume. But you've also got the option to reinvest, and we've added something recently which is incredibly cool that you're able to stack. And I actually think we've developed the best solution to this in the entire space. So an investor can come along and put in just an incredibly nominal sum of money and stack their rewards. And what that means is that they can be accumulating the B&B rewards for any length of time, and it costs about 30 cents to activate that feature. So you can be making rewards with incredibly small investments, which is quite unique. Nobody else has really kind of nailed that. And you also get reflections, but everybody benefits from that. Whether you're a whale, you're going to be getting bigger rewards. Whether you're a small investor, you're going to be able to use some of our features and access rewards. And going back to what I said, everybody wants like an income stream. I've had businesses where you earn very little salary and then you achieve an exit and you get like a big check, which is lovely. But you don't want to see your bank balance drop until you kind of reach a point where I've got to go and start earning again. There's nothing better in this world than just a regular recurrence of income, whatever level you're at. You want to see your money work, you want to see your money grow. And unfortunately, if you just hold all your money in fiat, it just goes down. So I think it does work for everybody. But what excited me, and one of my personal goals, which I don't really shout about because it's not really the time to, one of my personal goals is I want HODL to be to reach 1 billion holders. And I believe it can, because we're increasingly reaching a point where people around the world are struggling with passive income. They're struggling to buy the food they need, the medicine they need, look after their kids, particularly in places like Africa, places like Venezuela, where there's hyperinflation. It was only yesterday I saw that CZ, the guy who runs Binance, he was saying that only 20% of people in Africa are banked. So 80% of the population don't have a bank account. That's why there's this huge adoption. But the problem these guys have got, and the problem people have got in general, is currently the kind of culture of investing into crypto is a bit pump and dumpy, particularly in DeFi. You buy an asset for a price and then you sell it and hopefully you realize a profit. That's a general rule of thumb. But we're ultimately doing that to create income, to pay our bills. So if you've got something that you can achieve that with just by holding, that's far more attractive. It's far less stressful. The average person doesn't want to have to stay up all night looking at the charts to see if it pumps or dumps, And I've had that experience, and I'm sure every single person on that call has had that experience of you wake up and one of your assets has just fallen off a cliff or is rugged. People are becoming so tired of that. And if we want to achieve mass adoption, we've got to make it a little bit more in keeping with the real world, in keeping with the fact that you've got lives and kids and families, and that you need stability. You can't afford to just risk and gamble money. So I think that the kind of stability and the recurrence of that income is key, both to what people need in their lives, but also to actually enjoying the process of investing and holding a crypto asset. So that's really the essence of what we're about. And that ties in very much with my belief that it could become a household name because it has that beautiful feeling. Forget all the metrics and all the tech. It feels good. You put money into it, you can sit on it, and it gives you this income. And it's enjoyable. The UI, the experience, it's very tactile. All these things feel good. And that kind of is what I feel people want, whether that's somebody puts $5 in Africa or whether that's somebody puts $50,000 in New York. We all want the same thing.
I can't wait to see what the future holds for you guys, because this, like I said, this is one of the first projects I heard of when I came into the space. So I've known about it since November. And like I said, I got to host you guys in March, and it's just really exciting to see what future holds. That poker game is, I think, something newer too. So I think the fact that it's getting closer to development, again, like when you guys have that going on, you let me know. Maybe we could do it'd be fun to do some kind of an influencer tournament or something like that. I know Caesar and myself used to watch a ton of World Series of Poker back in the day, and all those old guys, Mike the Mouth Madison and Scotty Nguyen and Moneymaker, Daniel Negreanu, obviously being Canadian, big fan of his, but yeah, all those guys, Phil Ivey and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, I know you're talking about, because I've stayed up late and watched some of the World Series and things like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a great game, and there's an opportunity as well with our brand. But the primary reason we're looking to do that, and we're looking to do that pretty soon, is because if we do it really well, and we want to set up a new bar for for crypto poker, basically. But the revenue generation from that could be amazing. And what's beautiful is that revenue that we generate will be for our central reward pool. We have to create these revenue lines. We have to create a big influx of revenue so that reward pool can just keep growing and keep sustaining. Because if we're successful in that, then the sky's the limit. So it's definitely a massive focus, both something that we're excited by personally and excited by in terms of the creative aspect, but it's huge for us because it's going to bring in a ton of revenue that will allow us to be here in 10 years, or 100 years. That's ultimately the goal. We always talk about it, a lot of people internally, we want this project and this token to be something that the guys and the team and the community, you can pass on to your kids. And I think if we get this right and we kind of recognize that we're custodians of this incredible brand and this opportunity, and we just keep pushing, we will get there.
To kind of maybe have you go through, because you've been with the team for some time, so maybe have you go through a couple of your favorite milestones that the team's accomplished, maybe in your time with them, and then so we'll go a couple milestones, because I did want to at least touch a little bit on what you've accomplished. I mean, I brought up a little bit, but we didn't really jump on some of the milestones or major project achievements you guys had. So maybe a kind of a quick run through on that, and then we will get moving on to those community questions.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've just kind of loaded on if you can see the website, a bit of a high level breakdown of what the project includes at the moment, and I'll kind of whiz through that. So so we started off life as a token that you held, and it was a reward pool that would pay you BNB, and you also get reflections. We've added stacking, so basically any investor of any size, whether you put in $1 or any amount, you can now stack your rewards and build them up to 0.1 BNB and claim them, so that you can ensure, even as a small investor putting in a small amount, your claims are going to beat your gas fees. So that's huge for the small investors. So very proud of that one. We've adapted our reward pool, so there's like what we call a Fibonacci cap. So as the pool grows, there's like a spillover that then accumulates additional funds into other pots. So previously, this was one of the weaknesses, and I suppose one of the strengths, is that the reward pool was distributing in full every 24 hours. So it's a bit like operating a financial ecosystem that pays out every 24 hours and then goes and accrues its next set of revenue for the next 24 hours. It's like a constant cycle. It's a bit unstable. So we've built the Fibonacci caps to basically be an overspill and fill additional hoppers with revenue, so that there's that sort of continual payout. We've added in a couple of features around that kind of tie in with our ecosystem, that kind of reward people at holding and apply a bit more tax to people that are sort of dipping in and out quickly. So that's another pretty cool thing we added. We built our own dashboard, which I kind of loaded. So if you put your wallet address in, it will show you all the rewards you've earned, how much you've reinvested. You've got things like an overview of the project wallets. So we've got our own dash, and we're building a V2 dash pretty soon, which is just, in fact, I'll quickly pull that up. I don't think anyone's seen this, but we've got a really cool dash that's coming. I'll give you a little preview. You can see here, which just looks insanely good. Like it's going to knock people's socks off to be able to see a dashboard of that kind of quality of UI and the detail. And there's like loads of different sections, so that's going to be pretty spectacular. We've got an amazing NFT range, so very, very proud of that, actually. I'll bring that up. The NFTs themselves are gorgeous. It's the concept of, we wanted to come up with something that was symbolic for our brand. So they're called Hodl hands, and they're clenched fists, and you can see the different designs, but you have all these accessories with them. So there's that kind of meaning to them. It's to do with hodling effectively, and it kind of represents that sort of symbol of strength, unity, and resistance. But what's really cool is that we're adding a ton of utility, so you can stake them to earn both our reward token and our parent token. So that's pretty cool. And there's $22,000 worth of prizes if you unlock a superhero hand, and there's 3 of those. What else have we done? Let me go back to the roadmap. We've got, of course, we've got our own DEX. So we've got our own swap and reward token. We've got, you can do farming, and you can see there's good APRs, 170%, 257% if you want to farm. We've got our own pools. So you've got different pools that you can stake your single tokens in. We've got specialist pools, so you can stake tokens and earn NFTs, which I've never seen anyone do that. That you can stake a token and earn an NFT. That's pretty cool. And again, high APRs. And then we've got pools where you can stake your NFTs. So that's pretty cool. You know, we've built our own physical coin range. So there's actually these stunning, and they are absolutely beautiful, physical coins that people can collect. We've got our own store, you know, the list. And then, you know, the funny thing is we haven't even got to the contract. Like, our contract's so sharp, so optimized, and has got so many amazing features that, yeah, that's pretty special in itself in what the contract does. So I think it's fair to say we've got a lot. The other thing that I've just caught in my eye there is our game. You know, we've started to build games, so you can actually play different games. I showed one earlier. You got like things like Hodl Ninja. So it's kind of the games, and we're going to be adding a ton of play to earn features in the future that you'll be able to unlock with your NFTs. So there's loads going on, but it's becoming this big ecosystem, and that's before you even think about adding some of the other stuff we're working on, like the poker. So my advice would be, you know, if anyone thinks, oh, that's pretty cool and wants to check us out, go and have a look at the website. All the information's there, but it's becoming really big, what we've built, and as crazy as it sounds, it's only just the beginning.
I love it. So I'm going to open it up here for some questions here from the community. So we're going to kickstart it with Glenn here, Glenn, Lars, and then we'll go maybe Kaguya. So we'll go Glenn and then Kaguya, and we'll go from there. So what's up, Glenn?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Glenn, what's up?
Hey, Glenn. Fire away, mate.
Hello.
Up.
Yes, hello there. Sorry, I have a little problem with my internet connection. My question is, are you considering the idea of continuous referral earnings, wherein the first person can still earn? Hold on, please. I'm having feedback on my monitor. Are you considering the concept or the idea of continuous referral earnings, wherein the first person can still earn referral or a percentage of the second person's referral earnings or something like that?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way to expand your customer base. Something that we've looked at, but I want to look at further. And, you know, thanks for asking the question, because it will remind me that I need to look further into that. We have built a referral system with HODLERS. So you actually get, I think it's 1% of the referrals that you create. I think you get a unique referral link, and you can give that to people, and you'll earn 1%. That's for our reward token. So our reward token is a bit like how PancakeSwap have cake. You know, our HODL DEX has HODLERS, basically. So there's a referral system on that. But yeah, I do think it would be good to have a referral system for HODL, for sure.
Yeah, I've seen that work. It's obviously has to, I would say if you do a referral system, try and make some kind of ecosystem component built in. So maybe if it's more on a buy side, you know, make it so that through the link, people have to buy, you know, $500, $250, whatever you find is kind of worth paying out those rewards for. Because obviously, you know, if you're able to get money back in, it makes it a lot easier to continue putting money back out to have that project or that process kind of run smoothly.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I'm on board with that.
So up next, I think I called out Kaguya here. Never heard from them before, so try and get a question in there.
Hello.
Kaguya. Hey, Kaguya. Oh, is this Freshly?
Hello.
Hey, Freshly. What's
Hello.
up?
Hello.
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on?
we can hear you. Go for it, mate. Ask your question. We can hear you.
Okay. How many percent of how many percent, can you hear me? How many of your tokens do you can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
How
Yeah.
many percent? I mean, how many percent of your tokens do you intend? How many percent of your tokens do you intend to burn, and how free is your contract
Hello?
from bugs?
Yeah. Okay, I heard when you talk.
Oh, sorry, Kaguya. I'm just going to have to throw you on mute. So, Freshly, I'm going to throw you on mute as well, just so Adam can go through the answer. So if I got your question correctly, you were asking what percentage of the token does the team plan on burning?
Okay.
And
I say yeah.
I just want to make sure I got your question right.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, so Adam, if you want to go ahead, I'll just put them on mute, just so we don't get that back and forth feedback off your mic. That's right.
Yeah. So in terms of the tokenomics and burn, so the max supply of HODL is 1 quadrillion. So 1 quadrillion tokens. We burnt, I think it was 24.5% of the max supply, so 245 trillion tokens were burned. What's really cool though, is that our project has a reflections protocol. So 1% of every transaction gets redistributed in the form of reflections. But what's really cool is that the burn wallet is included in that protocol. So that burn wallet right now has grown from the initial 245 trillion. It's now at 267 trillion. So it's gone up quite significantly in just a year. And that's because we've done a couple of manual burns and intend to do some more down the track. But also every time reflections go out, which is 1% of every buy, sell or transfer, effectively 26.7% currently go to the burn wallet. So as that continues, which is basically hyperdeflationary. So as the project grows, if the burn address gets to 30%, which would be 300 trillion, effectively 0.3% of every single transaction would go to the burn address, because 1% of every transaction gets distributed as reflections. And once we reach, say, 300 trillion, that would be 30% of the maximum supply. So there's constantly tokens going to the burn address, and then in addition, we're doing some manual burns. Strategically, I would like to get that to 300 trillion, and it's gone from 245 trillion to 267 trillion in 12 months. But as those burn tokens grow, or as that wallet gets bigger, it will pull in more tokens. So if it gets to 30% or 35%, then it will be 30% of every of all reflections, and then it gets to 35, it'll be 35% of all reflections. So it's going to get really fun watching that address grow. I hope that answers your question, mate.
I'll get him off mute. Hopefully his mic's too bad. Also get Kaguya in there as well.
Hello?
How's it going
Can you
today?
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I want to you mentioned about the game. You mentioned, so I want to ask, because projects, they insist that before you play their game, own an NFT. Like you have to hold an NFT before you to access their games. So I want to ask, is the HODL game also like that? That's before I can play the HODL game, I must own an NFT.
No, so how we're doing this is basically these are free to play games, so you can play any of the currently 4 games that we've got for free. In addition to that, within our community, we've been doing some really good prizes. So people that are getting high scores can win NFTs, can win tokens. So that's a really good fun thing to do. But in terms of the play to earn aspect, that will be an additional benefit that you access with the NFTs, because we're basically giving away tokens that, I truly believe we're going to 100, maybe even 1,000x one day. So you've got to hold the NFTs, which are really cheap. The NFTs right now are only about $70, and you can stake them and earn over 100% APR. So again, that's also brilliant. But you'll be able to access play to earn features with the NFTs, along with other really cool features that we're going to build. However, right now and in the future, you'll be able to play the games for free. You just won't be able to earn tokens unless you have the NFTs. But we'll be doing lots of fun prizes and giveaways for people that are setting high scores, etc., in the games.
Oh, okay. So, thanks for the answer. But at the same time, how long is it free? You get to play the game. You can't play the game without an NFT. So I want to ask, for people have plans.
No, so I don't know. Sorry, just to be clear. So anybody can visit the website and play our games. They're completely free. However, you'll only earn tokens and prizes if you hold the NFTs. But you don't have to hold the NFTs to enter our game competitions where you can win prizes that we host in our community.
That's really
cool. The games are free
like
to
that.
if you want to win tokens by playing play to earn, you've got to hold an NFT. But we do lots of prize draws anyway in the community, so you're covered there as well if you don't have an NFT.
All right, thank
you very much, Kaguya. I appreciate you taking the time. I don't think we've heard from you before, so thank you. We will go here.
Maurice, I may have one more question. I didn't notice that I got muted. I got muted earlier.
Go ahead, dude.
Okay. About looking at your white paper. On your charity. What do you have specific country, or do you have specific area or scope for your charity, sir?
Ultimately, the goal is so. What's really so? I've run charities before. I did a charity during COVID where we worked with restaurants that had to close, and we produced 500,000 restaurant meals that we distributed across the United Kingdom for free to people that were in need. So I've got a lot of experience with charity, and one of the problems with charity is sustainability. You know, they have to raise money to be sustainable. So the concept behind our charity called HODL Forward is that we actually set our own charitable organisation up with our token, and they're able to effectively earn the rewards through HODL, which they can then invest into any charitable initiatives that they want to run. So there's no control around where territorially the charity drives are delivered. The goal is to try and be adaptable and to try and find where these charity drives are most needed. So we did some stuff recently in Nigeria with some families that were in major problems accessing food and essential supplies. We've done other things in India, in some of the slums, whether that's food or whether that's training for people that don't understand that they can access financial support through the government. And really what it's about is it's about creating effectively passive income for charitable organizations. And then the guys that operate the charity, and anybody's able to go into the group for the charity, HODL Forward, and I think the link's on the website. You're effectively able to recommend initiatives and then use the passive income of the charity to support those initiatives. So we've done stuff in the UK, Nigeria, India. We've done quite a few different locations, and there's no rules around where we do it. All that we ask is that people in that team, in that community, and I think it's about 100 of them now, they just look for where they can generate the most impact. And we like to focus on food and essential supplies. That's probably our primary objective is food and essential supplies. And when we do food drives, they have to be nutritious food, which is something I'm really passionate about.
Okay. In connection to that, may I ask where does the fund for charity come from, and will for example, will you also give or offer passive income for those who like to contribute for the funds for charity or something like that?
Yeah, so the team that run the charity, they have a pot of HODL tokens where they're accumulating the B&B rewards and reflections. So rather than just giving them money, and then they spend that money and then they come back needing some more money, they spend that money, and it's a constant cycle. The charity has been given a charity wallet where they're able to harvest the passive income on the HODL tokens in that wallet. And then they're able to use that passive income to run charitable initiatives. So the money comes from the HODL ecosystem and the tokens that the charity holds. A lot of those tokens have been gifted by the project because when we launch, charity has been central to what we do. It's about impacting lives as a project ultimately, and through the power of passive income. On top of that, we've done various drives where we've generated and raised more tokens for the charity so they can generate more passive income. And then in addition to that, people within our community have gifted tokens and B&B to the charity. In the future, a plan that we have is that every person that holds our token will be able to, through the D app, hit a switch and have their reflections forwarded onto the charity. And that was partly why we called it HODL Forward, because we want to pay it forward. That concept of people that are lucky in life, they might pay for a coffee for the next person that comes into the coffee shop, or buy something for somebody else. It's that concept of paying it forward. So we're going to add a feature whereby our investors will be able to opt in to have their reflections forwarded on to the charity wallet, and then that charity wallet is effectively harvesting passive income, which funds charitable initiatives all around the world sustainably.
Okay, thank you for your answer, sir. Thank you, Maurice, for bringing me up.
Cheers, Glenn.
Great questions, Glenn. I really appreciate that. I'm happy you touched on the charity side because, the project is very high level professional, and it does kind of scream that, very kind of well put together. So sometimes the charitable aspect might get lost personally with a project like this, and how much you have within your scope. So thank you very much, Glenn, for bringing that up. And something that really touches close to home for me. So yeah, I love that. I think that's a good kind of final question to end things on, guys. I do apologize to have to cut short. I think our last HODL AMA ran for about an hour and a half, so I apologize for having to cut it a little bit shorter than the last one, guys. But we just have another waiting to jump on for their AMA. So again, I do apologize that we have to cut the Q&A a little bit shorter than the last time we hosted. I would say, guys, just because of the amount of times that, we've had them on, I think 2 times. And then we did also kind of do a shout out for them as well, where they were going through kind of their big push back in March. So again, channels should have good familiarity with HODL. Even if you didn't see it on our channel first and you've been in the space a year, you probably have heard of it by now. So again, you should be able to at least pick out the brand. And once you kind of hear the team, all their plans, everything that they have already that they're offering to holders and what their plan is in the future, a couple key takeaways. I love the consistent push towards the charity side. I think that HODL, No Limit Texas HODL poker, will be pretty cool. Personally, I mean, when you guys fire that up, let me know. I would love to be involved in that, maybe even from a trial perspective, because it's the only, if I gamble, if I go to the casino, it is only poker at the table. I don't trust any of those machines, none of that
Yeah,
person is the only way for me.
Yeah. I've lost a lot of money recently on roulette. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so we, and some of these also, some of these, there's some really cool metaverse style casino projects that are building up in the crypto space. So if you guys are able to kind of set yourself apart or build a good community and following on the poker side, there's always that ability again on a partnership perspective to even be able to, throw in, HODL, No Limit poker games within a bigger casino metaverse and stuff. And again, it's a really cool idea. I think it's very on brand, not only from a naming perspective, which I love when, you can have funny little puns or different names that fit in with different components. So yeah, I just like what you guys are building. For me, you touched on a couple of the long-term vision. It's going to take some time. Like you said, you guys have been running over a year now and still just focused on what's in front of you, not what's behind. I'm going to kick it to you, Adam, for closers, but just, obviously you guys know I'm very impressed with the project. Otherwise, we wouldn't have agreed to rehost them again. So for a project like this, just can't wait to see what you guys keep doing, because 1 year in and pretty crazy highs, some pretty crazy milestones, but also some pretty crazy road bumps to go through and be able to come out on the other side with such a positive attitude, which is hopefully showcases a little bit on strength of kind of character and perseverance there. So again, with any project, do your research, but I really love the continuity the team has shown on our channel. Great consistency is definitely most important. So Adam, floor is yours.
Thank you. And yeah, really appreciate that and hosting us. Hopefully we'll be back again as we continue to grow in the future. Yeah, I just think, I would say really genuinely to everyone who's called that the focus here is around just the incredible opportunity we've got. None of us think we'll get an opportunity like this again. So we're going to take it with both hands. We've got a mind-bendingly brilliant brand. I cannot understand how this hasn't been done before. And the other side of it, I haven't even touched on this, but we're dominating now in search. We're into that top few positions, and we're going to keep going until the word, which everybody knows and has heard of and looks for, is entirely synonymous with our project. And that means, absolute commitment. It means hard work. It means building products. It means building brand, effective marketing, operating like a tech company rather than just, a lot of these projects in DeFi can be a bit pump and dumpy. We believe that there's an opportunity here to become like the Nike of the crypto space, and that's what we turn up every day to deliver on. So check us out, because hopefully one day we'll be everywhere. So if you do want to invest, if you do want to get involved, it's very early stage. The best is yet to come, and we've already achieved a lot, but we're not slowing down. If anything, we're going to pace up. So come and join us, because it's going to be a really fun ride. And yeah, thanks again to you guys at Caesar's Calls for having us.
Great to officially kind of meet you and chat, Adam. Honestly, you're very, very well spoken. So I do appreciate you taking the time. Again, guys, I know that we haven't been able to do, as long of a runoff into the community Q&A, with a project like this, with anybody who's newer. I did want to go through a good detailed overview of everything that they've accomplished. And, obviously next, it's an important thing for anybody who's not an investor. You're not buying in being like, well, they accomplished this. Who cares about this? It's all about, it's amazing they accomplished this, which gives me hopefully the the understanding and the hope that this is going to happen. You know, there's so much times you hear in crypto, well, how do you know, or what have you done, or what is this? Well, look at the past year, and that's what HODL's done. So it's about kind of understanding future visions and goals and being able to, like he said, HODL, earn that passive income, support them. Again, awesome presentation. I'm going to send that over to you once we're done. And again, just awesome job. So